Hello everybody and welcome to Cristo's Changes Part 2. This is the second part in the series where I talk about the ways in which the HOI4 developers could make the game even better than it currently is. I'm not really sure why I'm playing the 39 Poland start in the background, but hey, I am. So, change number 1. I think they can make the game a lot better by adding a ledger. In Hearthfire, I'm not sure about this actually, but in Hearthfire 3 and 4, in Hearthfire 4 and European Universalis 4, they had really good ledgers where you could quickly and easily see information about your country, information about your enemy's country, and it could help you plan out when you want to declare war and understand how wars were going. That's totally missing in Stellaris and HOI4, the two most recent Paradox titles, and that worries me. The ledger was a really important and really useful cornerstone of Paradox games up to this point, and it's so useful. So please, Paradox, please bring back the ledger. It would be really helpful to have that in this game. Okay, that's change number 1. Change number 2. So sometimes when you're running supply, let me just get the supply mode up. So let's say we're here in Poland. Let's say we own Germany, and we have some men over here in France. Clearly, the best way to send supply is from here, across here, and to here. Sometimes, randomly, it sends supply from here into the sea and to here. Not only does that leave it open to raiding, it sometimes transports the supply less effectively, which is just maddening. Send supply over land rather than by sea, especially when by land is even more efficient. Really, there should be an option. You should say, you know, where possible, prioritize land, or where possible, prioritize sea, because you generally want to not prioritize the sea because it's dangerous at sea. People convoy raid you. They hurt you. It's terrible. So that is change number 2. Change number 3 is Partisan uprisings. In Hearthfire 3, if an area had really high unrest, there was a possibility that you could have partisans rise up in that area. You'd actually get full-on rebellions in your territory, and that's very historical and very sensible, and totally absent from this game. In this game, the worst partisans can do is make the area less valuable to your opponent. Partisans were much worse than that. Partisans in World War II killed Nazi generals and other people, and not just against the Nazis, but partisans were really damaging. The Yugoslavian partisans are particularly famous for this, and I think they should get added into this game, preferably. So please, Paradox, please add in partisan uprisings. If an area, what should happen basically? So let's say you got an area, so your resistance, once it gets to 100%, there's a chance each year that some partisans rise up, maybe in the victory points or around the victory point, and they could be, just little infantry divisions. They shouldn't have very good equipment, and then they rise up and take the area. And as another country, you can support partisans. England heavily supported lots of partisans in France, in the Benelux region, in Norway, in Denmark. They sent equipment and spies to train local partisans. That could increase the quality of the partisans that rise up. Maybe they could rise up as regulars rather than trained, or something like that, or maybe as trained rather than green when they rise up. That kind of thing. And there could be in Hearthfire 3 you could build resistance movements that in your country and then deploy them overseas. That wouldn't really work very well in Hearthfire 4 because there's no kind of delocalized building of buildings in the same way there was in Hearthfire 3, but some way to support foreign uprisings and then actual uprisings. That would be great. That'd be a great change. 4th change, if you want to get a unit from here, let's say we are, let's tag it for Germany. Tag Germany. So, let's say we're Germany. It's just going to work Poland here. So, we're Germany, and we're going to take Danzig, as you might. So, it's just speed 5 here. So, as Germany, you're going to often have some fairly distant territories. You're going to have some troops over here, and you might want these troops over here to suddenly be over here in the Königsberg pocket. As it stands, sometimes if you order men to go a long distance, or even a quite short distance, they'll decide it's wise to take a naval route to that location, which is really dumb. And they should basically never ever do that, except when you're at peace. Because, let's say we want some men to go from here and go to here. Most of the time, they'll be sensible. they'll take the overland route. For some reason, some of them think they're going to go straight through the poles. Not very bright. Anyhow, sometimes they'll say, you know what I'm going to do? I'm gonna go all the way up to this port. Excuse me. Strategically deploy, if you would be so kind. Hello. Why can't I strategically deploy? Thank you. So sometimes they'll go up to this port and then go, hey, from here, let's sail. Let's sail to Königsberg. That seems like a great idea. There needs to be and at this point, you know, they might get convoy raided, they might get killed at sea, that kind of thing. I would like a button that says something like, where possible, avoid the ocean. As Germany, I would almost always press that button. Because most of the time, you do not want your men going to sea, because they get raided the heck out of. You want them to stay on the land wherever possible, so please add some kind of where possible stay at land feature. That would be really helpful. Number 5, and this one's about the Air Force. Your fighters can either go for... It's not a fighter. Your fighters, they can either go for air superiority, which basically means kill any enemy planes in the area, starting with fighters and then bombers and then other planes. Sorry. Firstly fighters and then all other planes. Or you can do interception, which means they try and prevent other people doing missions like bombing and escort, that kind of thing. I would like another mission, which is bomber escort. At the moment, let's say I'm the United Kingdom. Let's tag over there. The English patriot in me, by the way, loves that it's still ENG. So, let's say, sorry. So let's say Germany takes over France. Germany takes over France, and we, as England, now have decided that, you know, our French allies, they tried, they fought hard, we're going to need to bomb them, I'm afraid. So, we get our fighters and we go, right, let's go to France, and let's get some, can I have some tank bombers or something? Do I have any bombers? We have 3 street bombers, that's all we need, for the purpose of this demonstration. So, we're going to bomb over here. Okay, so these are the bombers. They're going to go in and they're going to try and destroy some critical military infrastructure in Paris. And we're going to send in some planes. And these planes are going to intercept? No, that's only going to attack enemy close air support and bombing. What we need to do is defend these fighters. So, we're going to try and defend our bombing run on Paris by achieving air superiority over the whole of northern France. Excuse me? That's not quite how that should work. If we want to bomb Paris, what our fighters should be doing is escorting our bombers. They should fly in formation with or around our bombers, and then if the bombers get engaged, or if enemy fighters come too close, our fighters move in, engage the enemy fighters, and protect the bombers. That's what Bomber Command, the British organisation responsible for organising the bombing of Europe in World War II, did. They sent fighters to escort their bombers. They didn't, for some weird reason, try and achieve air superiority over all of northern France. This is ludicrous. Bomber escort missions. And what a bomber escort mission does is only engages enemy fighters that are on the interception mission. I realise that with the zones thing, we're not going to be able to fix the fact that it has to be all of northern France. Okay, what they should do is just fight enemy planes that are on interception, or planes that are actively targeting your bombers. That would fix the problem. That would make a lot more sense. And that would mean it would cost, or it should cost, a lot less fighters, because you don't need to achieve air superiority to bomb Paris. You just need to have temporary protection of your bombers. That is change number, I've forgotten, 5. 5. Okay, so the next one, let's say you're Japan. You're going to have to invade a whole lot of islands, like a really large number of islands, if you want to take control of the Pacific. Incidentally, you don't need to take control of the Pacific. It's worthless. You all only need one island chain to get to America. That's it. Anyway, let's say you want to take control of the Pacific. We want to take control of all the Dutch East Indies. As it is, you have to get these guys. Okay, so let's get some troops. Then you plan a naval invasion, and you're going to go from here, and then we're going to go down to here. Okay, so that's the plan. We're going to invade here. Marvellous. Problem with this. You're going to have to plan a crap ton of these invasions. What I would like to be able to do, this, by the way, this change was suggested by Hen Oni Abel. I pronounce his name wrong every time, so I just call him Honey. So Honey suggested this, an island-hopping battle plan. It would be so useful. So you plan it to here, okay, take that port, and then go from there to here, and then go from here to here, and then go from here to... It doesn't seem to want to let me plan one from here. There we go, from here, over there. Sure. And when I press execute, I want you to do all of these plans. As it is, I can't assign him to this one and this one. I want to be able to assign him to a chain of invasion. So you get your 5 crack Marines, and then you say, go on, take all the American islands in this region, which is going to be, you know, much of the Philippine island chain. It's going to be here. It's going to be up here, here. You can give them a big order. Go, 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 go. Take all of those islands. That would be a great feature. Please add that. Please, that would be so useful. Next up, focuses. Focus trees. I'm a big fan of focus trees. I like them. I like the visual aspect. I like the, you know, one follows another aspect. It's really good. Something that would be very helpful. Queuing focus trees. We're doing army primacy. Next, we want to do army innovations. I really don't want to go back into the screen and tell you I want to do army innovations. I want to be able to say, okay, do army innovations. Yep, click that. Then do motorization. Great. And then go straight into armor. Brilliant. And it just goes, well, as soon as it's finished, starts this one. As soon as it's finished, does this one. It'd be brilliant. Similar vein, tech queuing. Why not? This slot right here, it's doing the wrong side, so be realistic. You should be doing this side. This side's much better than this side. So, do mechanized defensive, but let's be realistic. What I want you to do is this one. But I can't queue it. I really want to be able to tell this research slot, just do these forever. It doesn't come up as much because, obviously, with the timing things, it's not often as useful. But with your doctrines, it'd be really nice to just say, this slot, you know what? Army doctrine's really important. Just do this doctrine until it's done. That would be a really great change. That is change number 7. Now, next change. Let's say we're playing as Germany. Oops. And as Germany, you're often going to be annoyed at your Italian allies, because typically they're pretty worthless. Let's say right now, we don't want to launch this fight. What we actually want to do is just hold this front line a bit. We're going to try and trick, let's say we didn't hold Danzig, we're going to try and trick the British to send some men over here, and then we're going to kill Poland, killing the British men in the process. Unfortunately, our Slovakian allies didn't quite get the memo, so they're going to launch an attack into this hill province that the Polish are defending. Then all of these guys are going to start going, oh, we better support attack then, and they're going to start support attacking in defense of our allies. Please don't do that. Well, first off, just never do that. Never support attack in defense of an attack that is not my own. I will handle it. If the battle plan is inactive, the men should never, ever attack. Even if I launch an attack, if I don't put men into the support attack stance and tell them to give that order, don't give them orders on my behalf. The reason the AI battle plan is off is because the AI is bad. I want direct control over my units. So do not launch support attacks without my express permission, please. This is especially damaging because it means that I never accept volunteers. The reason is, let's say we were playing with no AI in our faction. Oh, glorious, I know. But then we accept some volunteers. The volunteers are going to come over here and go, you know what would be great? An attack into this forest tile. And they launch an attack into this forest tile, and then all these guys are going to support attack. And this is especially damaging in something like multiplayer, because that means once these guys fail in their support attack, if they were to fail, realistically, I mean, we'd win that fight. But let's say they were to fail in their support attack. It's a better defended border. At that point, all these guys are on really low organisation, and my opponent, if they're clever, is going to go, oh, ha ha ha, he's left this really weak bit, quick, charge in, because all my guys will be at low organisation having just lost a support attack. So that is change number 8. Please, please don't launch attacks without my express written permission. If the attack plan is inactive, the men should not attack. Simple. Now, this one is controversial, and I very much doubt it will ever get implemented because it's a pretty core gameplay mechanic. Army experience is just dumb. It's just dumb. Let's say we want a cavalry brigade. Okay, so we understand our army has the comprehension of how we can construct a 6 combat width cavalry unit. We've got it down. We could print hundreds of these things if we had the equipment to do so. This is a design we understand. A 4 combat width unit? You mean we're going to have the same thing but with 1,000 less people? Hang on. This is a really complicated thing you're asking me to do here. We're going to have to use up some of the experience earned through blood, toil, and combat in order to be able to accomplish such a complicated. This is obviously ludicrous. It shouldn't take army experience to design new unit compositions. It's just ludicrous. You should be able to have to build whatever template you want. Let's say we want to double the number of tanks in this. Is that really a complicated endeavor? Really? Is it for some reason more complicated if I want to also have some anti-air in this division? Why is that suddenly very complicated? It just doesn't make any sense. It should be that you can design whatever template you want. Now, that devalues army experience. So how can we balance that out? Well, one idea is maybe you could have variants of infantry equipment. You can have variants of tanks, and it just seems very odd that you can't have variants of everything else. Why can't I build a variant? I mean, you've even put a button there which says create variant that just does nothing. So please, let me make variants of infantry equipment, support equipment. That would compensate for the fact that you're going to be spending less experience in this. And realistically, by 39, you've probably almost finished spending army experience on templates, for the exception of building better tank divisions. You've got your infantry template down by now. So it's just a feature that peters out. But in the early game, if England says, actually, we should have some artillery in our infantry divisions, that's not complicated. That shouldn't cost army experience. So please, please, get rid of the army experience change. Change number 10. Now, for this, we're going to need to be under attack. So, let's tag over to Poland. Launch an attack here, and tag back to Germany. Welcome back, everybody. I managed to stop recording halfway through I was doing my changes video. Sorry. We're back in. So, we're playing as Germany here, and we're idiots, and so we're going to concentrate all our men just here. Let's do that. So this is a demonstration of an annoying feature to do with reserves. At the moment, reserves don't regain organisation. So if these guys all attack here, let me tag back over to Germany. For some reason, while they're engaged in combat here, our men, these guys are actually actively in combat. These guys are not. They are reserve divisions. They are waiting to be in combat once there is room for them to fight. They're not in combat, okay? Not in combat. Have I said it enough times? They are not in combat. Okay. Alright. I think the message has got through. If we hover over this, it will tell us that there is no regain of organisation while in combat. They're not in combat, though. So they really should regain organisation. This is a problem if you're trying to defend a small front with lots of men. You can end up getting pushed back because your guys in reserves are not regaining. If there's an attack, and then they stop, and then they restart an attack, which the AI does all the freaking time, you can have men who are in the engaged area, and then they stop the attack, and then they restart, and it puts the people that were in the reserves in the engagement, and the people that were in the engagement in the reserves. They do that a couple of times, and you're going to end up with no organisation on any of your divisions, because you never have an opportunity for your divisions to regain organisation. At the moment, the main way they're able to regain organisation is if they get here, and they go down to 0, then they retreat. Then while they're retreating, and waiting, and coming back, they're regaining organisation. But while they're in the reserves, they're not, which makes no sense, because these guys are not in combat. So please, Paradox, make it so you can gain organisation while not in combat. Those are my second round of 10 changes to make Hearts of Iron 4 even better. Please suggest any of your own changes that you'd like. I will credit you, and if I think they're good, I will bring them up. Thank you very much for your suggestions on my previous video. They helped with making this one. And please, Paradox, please, 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 add some of these changes in. It would make the game a lot better. Thank you for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.